Hello guys and welcome to another game with RunGB Flying Historical Battles. And this is a pretty epic battle. I'm not going to ruin it for you and tell you how it's going to end, but believe me, there are some pretty amazing moments. It's in Ruhr versus the Germans, and I'm flying a F4U1-a Corsair. And all my team, except for one guy, you can see that guy, that Tichan guy in the Typhoon, we are all really low. I am at 2,600 meters and I'm the highest one, and I know I mean we are going against Germans, and the Germans all climb very well. So we all know, at least I do know, that we need to be as high as possible to engage them, but most of the team just were for the ground targets. So my first target is going to be my BF109, who is diving on a Fury and ignoring the Corsair, which is the very honorable thing to do. But yeah, well, he's using his high speed to remain far away. This Corsair, the 1A, I still didn't have. I unlocked it at this battle, to be honest. The air resistance modifier. So I only have top engine. I don't have the clean aerodynamics. So I'm not as fast as I should be, and I'm closing it with the BF109. But not fast enough, and I'm really concerned from using war emergency power. One of the things I have noticed about the Corsair is that they are very fast with web, but that the engine doesn't have a lot of time on it by abusing web. So I don't really want to stay on war emergency power all the time. I really can't allow myself to do so. So the BF109 is diving away towards the A capture point, and I'm right now assuming he's doing so because in A there are a lot of enemies. And now I notice that we had an F2A, a Buffalo, down in A, and now it's dead because another BF109 has killed it. So yeah, I'm expecting a lot, and I mean it, a lot of opposition in A. But still, I don't want to let that guy go. But soon I will have to, because you see a lower 109. Okay, it's lower, no big deal. But you see another lower 109, and right now I'm like, no. I mean, 3v1, even if I'm higher, is going to be very bad for me. And now I notice P47 was trailing me. I hadn't seen him. Sneaky bastard. Sneaky bastard. So, well, by changing direction, basically I saved my life, because that P47 was very close to me. And of course now the turns are totally opposite to me. The odds have totally turned opposite to me. Now I have 5 guys who are looking at me. And I'm like, where's my base? Oh, it's there. So yeah, I mean, it's the only thing I can do. I'm alone up here. There are 5 guys who are looking at me, and one of them is closing fast. Look at that BF109. He's lower but closing fast. So I enter a slight dive, not very steep because I don't want to drop all my altitude instantly. I accelerate a bit and make sure I'm going to be able to make it to the base, so I can use at least the air cover, the anti-aircraft cover, to defend myself. I'm not a huge fan of walking into AA cover when you are 1v1, and even 2v1. But with 5 guys in my 6, everything is allowed, basically. So yeah, still going. I see there's a higher BF109 as well, which is trailing me, and I'm feeling a bit desperate right now, because it's plain to see I'm in dire straits. The lower BF109 recognizes what I'm doing, and wisely, because he's wise to do this, gives up. But the other one, not so much. Still, I have enough separation to zoom away and trade some altitude, some speed for altitude. And I soon see the BF109 is not coming for me. So now I'm pretty confident I can turn around. So basically right now I'm more or less calmed down because I'm not in immediate threat. But the team is not doing very well. Not at all. And remember, I had 5 guys trailing me. Lower than me and lower than in energy. But I'm sure there's more than this guy coming here. So I noticed the BF109 is much lower, and I recognize he's going for the anti-aircraft guns, which is a very risky proposition, but if he does so, we are going to be super exposed if we need to land. So I dive for him. Being very careful because I don't want to overspeed the plane and break my wings. And this is very important in historical battles. You will have to be very, very careful with your top speed and with not breaking your wings. Yeah, there are more incoming, and there's another BF109 down there. The F4 has died because the AA got him, but there's another BF109 down there getting rid of the anti-aircraft guns, and there are not a huge lot left. But I have to take care of the guys who are coming at my altitude. A lower BF109 and a much higher P-47. The P-47 I basically can't do a lot about because I will be open to attack by that BF109. So I go for the BF109, open fire, and get some hits in a head-on. He also gets some hits on me. Thankfully, nothing too damaging. And what I do is, I know the P-47 is coming for me. I know it. So what I do is a speed test, build a lot of speed, and focus on the 109, because the P-47 I can't do crap. I simply can't do, because if I focus on the P-47, I have to go vertical, lose all my speed, and open myself to that BF-109. So, well, what I'm doing now is, okay, these guys are there, and now I notice the P-47 is coming. I speed test again, a high speed, and look at this. He just broke his wings. I actually knew it was a possibility. I thought he would throttle back and pull out, but no, he went for me, and he paid for it. I've actually done this as well in the Corsair, so it's not that he was a moron or a low experienced guy or something like that. It's that sometimes you simply derp out and don't notice how fast you are going. So, well, I have a lower BF-109 which I want to take care of. I maneuver, I'm much higher in speed than him and Glenn higher. So I maneuver for a good shot, but I totally miss all my shots. I miscalculated the proper lead and I miss all my shots. So what I do is to zoom away. There's an 820 there, there's a BF-109 there, there's another one there. We are 3 versus 2 right now. And yeah, I have the energy on my side, but it's still a 3 versus 2. So again, then when I go for the BF-109, the A20 decides to crash versus him. Totally enough move in my opinion, but well, at least he took care of one of the BF-109s. And I see there are 2 further BF-109s who are trying to destroy a Typhoon. So I do a half loop and reverse towards him. Right now, the smart thing to do by those guys who would have been to focus on me, one of them at least, because I'm the one higher in energy. But instead, they are hungry for the kill and they are going for the Typhoon. So I see another BF-109 coming. This is a 3 versus 2, and the guy is coming at my altitude, so we are not going to have energy anymore. Energy is going to be on their side from now on, but still I have to make those guys break away from the Typhoon, because otherwise they are going to eat it alive. So one of them breaks away, noticing I'm coming, and the other one is tunnel vision, has tunnel vision on the Typhoon. I get some hits, but again I totally miscalculate the lead, and I only get some hits, not a lot, but some. But the guy at least has broken chase of the Typhoon, which is something towards our side. But there they come, 3 versus 1, and we are low and not particularly fast. And the BF-109 is at a distinct advantage at this kind of fight. The only thing I have is a slightly better turn rate, and I pull my flaps on to close the turn. Here comes the next 109. I don't want to go head-on versus him. Instead, I avoid his head-on, deploy flaps again. The Typhoon has won the position versus one of the VF109s, but he's got 2 on his back. So I have to really do something, because otherwise they are going to eat him alive, and it's going to be a 3 versus 2, 3 versus 1, sorry, and then it will be game over. Still, this guy is coming for me. Have to shake him off. Right now I have done enough to shake him off. And now I have to go for this other guy. The Typhoon has actually killed one of the VF109s. So I go for this one, I get a critical, totally smash his tail, and he crashes. So, well, now things don't look so bad, don't they? From a 3 versus 1 to a 2 versus 1. And this time numbers are an advantage. But look at that, down low in the right. My oil is overheating, my engine is overheating. I can't, I actually have to throttle back. I throttle back to 90% and stay on a turn fight with the guy. I actually go head on for a second with him, but I don't get any hits. He gets some on me, but I recognize by the sound that he only has machine guns left. So if he comes again, I'm going to accept any head on he comes for. But instead, what he decides is to disengage. I see the scores, and we are 3 versus 2. And I simply can't go on full throttle and try to chase him down. I have overheated oil, the engine is in risk of getting damaged. So instead what I do is to break away, leave and go. As much as I hurt and as much as I hate him going away, if I try to focus on him, my engine is going to die. So instead what I tell the Typhoon is, okay, we don't have any anti-aircraft gunners left in the airfield, so what I do is to cover for you, and when you take off, you cover for me. He agrees, and well, basically what follows is me orbiting the airstrip until he repairs and reloads, and I'll repair and reload as well. And well, this takes a lot of time, and actually it's not really so much entertaining to see. So I'll cut off and come back when things happen again. So up we go, and here we are. And we spot a lower Henkel 51. And that's a biplane, that's not a big threat, and I really want to locate the VF109 first. Because I know there's an Italian plane in the other side. There's this Henkel 51 we just located, and there's the VF109, and the main threat comes from the VF109. So the Typhoon tells me he's going to attack the biplane, which I'm totally cool with. I tell him I'm going to stay at altitude and go for towards the airbase, because I noticed at the moment I actually saw for a second a dot down there. And yeah, I thought it was the VF109. So the Henkel 51 gets a critical from the Typhoon, and I give him a good job because I assume he's going to die. I'm under heavy anti-aircraft gun, but well, I'm pretty far, so not really worried. And I'm moving towards the airbase because I'm pretty sure I saw something. Some dot here, but turns out no, I didn't see any. Probably it was one of the anti-aircraft guns that I was spotted with a dot from a long distance. And now he's telling me there are 2 enemies there. One of them is the Henkel 51, the other one maybe the 109. In any case, it's 2v1, so I have to come back. Still spotting the airbase because I'm not that sure that the 109 is there. Now he says no, there's just one there. Yeah, the MC200 is there, Italian plane, as I assume it was. And now he's saying no, there are still 2 on him. So I see the MC200, but I don't see the VF109. So I tell him, I'm guessing the other guy you see is the VF109. I'm coming, but I'm too far. He goes for the MC200, but sadly he crashes against him, and he reports he's dead. At this point I'm assuming he has a black wing or something like that. I'm telling him, go RTB, and I'll try to cover you from the 109. But No, he's telling me his engine is dead, not the wing. So I tell him, well, okay, distract the 109. It's the only thing you can do. But no, the 109 gets a good burst on him and he's basically dead. So it's time for me to engage the 109. I'm coming with a huge energy advantage. So I have to dump it before engaging the BF109 because it's very low, and if I come in without the proper care, I'm going to crash or I'm going to break a wing. So I do a couple of fake passes so he blows all his energy. He thinks I'm coming for the kill, but I'm not. I'm just blowing all my energy. I have too much energy to engage him in a close quarter situation, which is what I want. The BF109, instead of trying to stay aggressive, which is what he should do, he has an amazing clean rate and he can equal energy states, goes and tries to hack the anti-aircraft guns. And that's a huge mistake. Besides, it's lame to do that, but it's a huge mistake. Because he gives me his 6, and I'm not going to let that one pass. And there you go, no hugging. I mean, it's lame. You are 1v1. Yeah, you are at a disadvantage, but you are in a hugely good plane with an amazing climb rate and acceleration, and you can stay defensive and try to turn tables on me. Instead, you give me your 6. Okay, I'll come in and kill you. So there you go. It was a pretty intense fight, and it was down to a very critical position in some moments, but we won. Hope you enjoyed and hope you liked this video. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and see you later.